Welcome to the Chiefs' kingdom, into the sweet nectar of the end zone. 40-yard bomb. Yes. Touchdown, Green Bay.
What a performance by Daniel Jones. And it's no good. He missed it. And the Giants win their first game of the season.
That's it, Danny Dimes. Get money. Welcome back to First Take. We're coming to you live above the Chase River deck here.
Duh. He's the reigning MVP. He really proved it last year. 50 touchdowns and 12 interceptions, a 12-4 record, and it should have been an appearance in the Super Bowl as a first-year starter. So how did he follow that up? Oh, I don't know. They're 3-0. He has 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. He's leading the league in touchdowns, interceptions, yards per attempt, yards per catch, quarterback rating, yards period. He's leading the world in everything. You know why? Because he's better than everyone else. Now, will he win the Super Bowl? I mean, part of that's on Andy Reid. Maybe the answer is no. Andy Reid's never won a Super Bowl. He's a great coach whose clock management at the end isn't always great, who has been out-coached by Bill Belichick in the past. Bill Belichick still coaches the Patriots, who have a better team top to bottom right now. But in terms of quarterback play, guys, he's like the best of Aaron Rodgers meets the best of Brett Favre, only he's in his second season as a starter. He's the reigning MVP, and if you had to give out an MVP right now, you would give it to him, obviously, clearly, and by far. There's no one close. And he just did it against a Ravens defense that gave him problems last year. Stop the foolishness. Of course, Patrick Mahomes is not only the best quarterback and football player in the world, he is the single most important athlete in American team sports right now.
Well, Max would say that because Max is allergic to closing. That's not what he does. He leaves that to other people. And that's really what this comes down to. I'm not going to question the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. Excuse me, we let you speak. Let me speak. The fact, and this ain't about Mariano Rivera, who retired a few years ago. This is about now. And the fact of the matter is, when you look at Patrick Mahomes, again, talent, from a talent perspective, we understand how real he is. But forgive me, because I'm focusing on something different. I want to see you close. You know, that AFC Championship game that they almost won, I recall a first half in which they got shut out. I recall a first half in which they had 32 yards on 4 drives. I recall a first half that, you know, obviously when we look at a guy like Kareem Hunt, who found himself on the commissioner's exemplars, I believe if it were not for him, that if he were playing, the Kansas City Chiefs would not only have been in the Super Bowl, but they would have won the Super Bowl. But the fact of the matter is it didn't happen. And it's not like Brady's retired. It's not like Drew Brees is retired. It's not like they've fallen off so much that ultimately they're just there and receiving accolades and all of this other stuff before, you know, their swan song is finally sung and they go into the twilight. The bottom line is that if Drew Brees were healthy right now, Drew Brees would be in the lineup and the Saints would be a Super Bowl contender, which they are. The New England Patriots with Tom Brady are the reigning, defending Super Bowl champions, who, by the way, still has a quarterback in Tom Brady that's balling. So when we look at the individual talent of Patrick Mahomes, while I respect it, appreciate it, and in no way am trying to deny his greatness, all I'm saying is, you know how I am, Molly, about resume, and you know how I am about closing. And at the end of the day, with that talent and with that offense and with that coaching, close the deal, Patrick Mahomes, because I'm not having this conversation about Patrick Mahomes until I see that chip. That's
Stephen
me.
A. Stephen A., I don't know where you are right now or where you woke up, but clearly the L.A. breeze was too much for you. And when you got the rundown, you said, okay, let me figure out a way that I can make this sound like Patrick Mahomes is not better than these dudes, because that's the easy part. What Max said was the easy part. I'm going to take it a step farther. Patrick Mahomes is better than all these dudes ever were. I'm talking 2007 Tom Brady, 2011 and 2015 Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees in 2011, all of their greatest years. The greatest they've ever been, they've never been as good as Patrick Mahomes. And everybody knows how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. I watched Aaron Rodgers do things not only on film, not only in my post-career life, I'm talking about in person, that I had never seen a quarterback do. And I've seen Patrick Mahomes do those things and then do more. Patrick Mahomes plays football like a great dunker. What happens is great dunkers, when you look at the Zions and the Jordans and the Levines and Dominique Wilkins, they start out with a talent level that nobody else has. And they're so talented, they start to try to do different things. And then they put it between their legs. Then they go from the free throw line. Patrick Mahomes is inventing new ways to play quarterback. And then if you go back to last year when he did have double-digit interceptions but 50 touchdowns, you might have said, you know what? He doesn't protect the ball like Brady has, or he doesn't protect the ball like Rodgers has, or Breeze has. Now, through 3 games, he has no interceptions, and it's not like he's not taking chances. And then it was, well, he has Tyreek Hill, but then we see Sammy Watkins show us why he was picked 4th, because he's with Pat Mahomes. And Demarcus Robinson, another guy who no one's talking about, who's making one-handed catches, getting catches in 50-50 traffic, because Patrick Mahomes is putting the ball where nobody else can get it. And Mecole Hardman, the guy you go draft because you don't know if Tyreek Hill is going to play. We're hitting him down the seams with balls that get 8 yards off the ground and travel 40 yards down the field. That is that Brett Favre stuff. That is that Aaron Rodgers stuff. But on the other side of that, this is a guy that can move and create plays outside of the pocket, unlike Breeze can do, unlike Tom Brady can do. And I know when you start talking about the greats and what they've accomplished, and you compare somebody that's new to the block like Patrick Mahomes, people want to get upset, and historians want to get mad, like Stephen A., and talk about these people's resumes. I don't care about their resumes. I care about when I watch it and I see him make a throw, I go, Drew can't do that. Tom can't do that. Aaron can probably do it, but he's the only one. And when that starts to happen, that's when you know that he's not only surpassed him now. That's an easy question. We know if you're starting a team now and it's just for this year, you take Patrick Mahomes over all these dudes.
But once again, that's not where I'm going. The fact of the matter is you didn't hear me question the greatness of Patrick Mahomes. What I said is I want to see him close, and I'll bring up the basketball analogy you just alluded to. I don't give a damn what great person you point to. At the end of the day, we ask, when did they close? And all I'm saying is that I don't want to hear all of that without the closing, because I'm not looking at Patrick Mahomes.
The reason I went to Duncan,
I'm looking at what you're talking about. You brought up Marcus Robinson with the one-handed catches. We saw Sammy Watkins. We know Travis Kelce is the best tight end in football. You have the greatness of Andy Reid as a coach, play calling, and all of this other stuff, even though there's some questions at times of big moments. The bottom line is there's things around him, not just his greatness, but there's things around him that eradicate the excuses. I know he's great, but I want him to close.
We can't question Andy Reid's ability to close and Andy Reid's ability to get things done in the biggest moments and then put it on Patrick Mahomes. We want to see you close to see if you're as good as these guys.
If Patrick Mahomes starts winning championships, then he's validating what Ryan is saying, which he's already the best to ever do it. I'm saying right now he's better than everyone else. If he does the things you're talking about, then I'm with Ryan. Then look, he's already, he's proved he's the best to ever do. But you bring up closing. You said he struggled in the first half, but what happened in the second half of that game?
Gave back.
So he came on in the second half of the game.
Delivered it. Yes, he did.
In the AFC Championship game, if not for a pre-snap penalty, they beat Bill Belichick, Tom Brady, and the Patriots.
Or if not for them performing in the first half, they would have blown them out.
Okay, but if you're looking for clues, right? Because right now we don't have all the evidence that the other guys have. If you're looking for clues, is this dude a closer? You want him to, if he's not going to ball in one half,
I'm not questioning it.
He balled in the second half.
I'm saying I demand it. I'm not questioning, and that's the difference.
Google Gregory Hines, kids.
Yes, Google Gregory Hines.
Well, they've heard me say it. They've Googled it already.
Okay.
That's where he got it from. Go ahead.
Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers. Patrick Mahomes is better than Aaron Rodgers.
Fact. Hold up. Let me throw this out there.
Listen, here's what I'm going to say. Here's what I'm going to say. Okay, look at the year that Patrick Mahomes had last year. His first full year starting. And he was the league MVP.
Can I ask both of y'all to educate me about something?
Let me add one more piece to that.
Go ahead.
Okay. Most players, and Dominic knows this, most players, when they go from year 1 to year 2, basically of starting full time, that's usually when they make their biggest jump.
That's where you get better.
Okay? So when we look at Patrick Mahomes, in our mind it's like, man, how much better can this dude be? Like, what can he be this year coming up after last year?
I'm deferring to y'all. I'm not going to debate this. I'm going to throw this out, and then I got 2 questions for them.
All right.
Patrick Mahomes did have Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt for the vast majority of the season, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins, got Andy Reid calling plays.
And a great offensive line.
Andy Reid and a great offensive line, right? I would ask you, and we know what Aaron Rodgers had to work with in comparison to that. So I would ask you to take that into consideration along with this question. Y'all educate me. The National Football League, particularly as it pertains to the protection of the quarterback, Talk to me about what the league is now compared to what it was all of these years that Aaron Rodgers has been throwing the football, and ask yourself, how much should that factor into our judgment?
Well, I mean, it's changed in part.
I'll say this. How many times have Aaron Rodgers put himself in harm's way? As much as we ooh and ah about the plays he makes outside the pocket, you also got to factor in he puts himself in harm's way a lot of times. I.e., when he got hurt against Minnesota Vikings with Anthony Barr. You can't have it both ways. As many times we see him outside the pocket, what comes with that is injury. That's just part of it.
Go ahead. I wanted to bring this up earlier because you said you decide what a quarterback is when he's under pressure. It busts pipes or break diamonds. Let's look at these pressure numbers. Patrick Mahomes under pressure, QBR 71. Aaron Rodgers under pressure, QBR 20.3.
Personnel might have something to do with that, Dominic.
Wait a minute, was that a drop mic moment? Did you just drop the mic?
Wasn't. Not
Did
for
you
me.
drop the mic on Stephen A?
I disagree. I disagree. Wait a minute. I disagree, y'all.
Pen drop.
I disagree. I appreciate the histrionics, but let me be very, very clear. Personnel matters. Again, if we're talking basketball, those things matter because there's so much that you can do yourself. But if you throw in the football at somebody, it matters. And look at the weapons Patrick Mahomes had available to him compared to what Aaron Rodgers had available. That does matter.
It matters, but that ain't changing.
All right. Look, Patrick Mahomes entering his second training camp. Aaron Rodgers entering his 15th training camp. Let's have this discussion in another decade. Also, this is our Twitter poll question of the day, so you can weigh in who is the better quarterback. Is it Aaron Rodgers or Patrick Mahomes? All right.